Hello dear students, today we are going to discuss about the magnetic properties of transition metal compounds. This is our second episode on this topic. In the previous episode, we have discussed about the magnetic properties origination, from where the magnetic properties originate. After that, their magnetic susceptibility, from where it comes, and how this magnetic susceptibility depends upon temperature. Now in this episode, for today's our lecture plan is orbital contribution towards this magnetic properties or magnetic moment. The orbital and spin coupling, how the orbital and the spin magnetic moments coupled with each other. Now the quenching of orbital angular momentum. If orbital angular momentum participating in the magnetic properties, in some cases it is quenched by the some chemical environment. The magnetic behavior of transition metal compounds within a series, how these transition metal compounds behaves under the magnetic environment. The magnetic properties and their explanation depending upon the crystal field theory. The origin of magnetic properties, as we have discussed in our previous episode, spinning of any charged particle that generates magnetic field due to their origination of current from the spinning of any charged particle. Now electron and proton, these are the charged particles spinning on their own axis. So having a magnetic field around it which generates a magnetic moment. So from this figure it is easily understandable that how any charged particle that is moving on its axis, it generates an magnetic field around it. So there is a magnetic moment attached with this magnetic field. Now the motion of the electron, the magnetic behavior is mainly due to presence of unpaired electron. So what is the contribution of electron towards the magnetic field generation? The electron can create a magnetic moment in two different ways. First one is the electron is spinning on its own axis. Second, electron revolving around the nucleus in a closed periphery. This can be easily understandable with this motion. Here electron is spinning on its own axis, it generates spin magnetic moment, whereas the second moment is from orbital. This electron revolving around the nucleus within a closed periphery, and this motion of electron also generates a magnetic moment, and that is called orbital contribution magnetic moment. Now the unpaired electron having magnetic field in its vicinity, whereas the paired cancel out each other magnetic field. The unpaired electron that is revolving on its own axis or around the nucleus, it generates a magnetic field if it is in upward direction, whereas when it is paired up, when two electrons are put in this fashion, means these two electrons can cancel out each other's magnetic field. Now the coupling of orbital and spin angular momentum. What is spin magnetic moment? Spinning on its own axis that generates a magnetic field and it is attached with the magnetic moment. The magnitude of this spin magnetic moment is given by this ms, which becomes equal to summation of ms values of individual electron. It is given by under root s plus 1 h upon 2 pi. Here ms is related to an overall spin quantum number. Now this ms values varies from plus s to minus s. It means the total ms values are 2s plus 1. It is because the ms values are quantized in way. It has a number of values, but we cannot choose any random value depending upon ms. We have a definite fashion of changing ms values, and it can vary from plus s to minus s, which gives a total 2s plus 1 values. Now what is orbital angular momentum? Similar to that of spin angular momentum, orbital angular momentum generated through the movement of electron around the nucleus within a closed periphery or closed orbit. Its magnitude is given by summation of ml, which is under root L plus 1 h upon 2 pi, where L is the orbital angular quantum number. ML relates to the orbital multiplicity or orbital degeneracy. How many types of orbitals came into existence? It depends upon the orbital multiplicity and it gives the orbital degeneracy. Now, the L value must arise from a complete set of microstates with the 2L plus 1. As in case of spin, the total spin values are 2s plus 1. Like that of spin, L also have a definite pattern of number of values. It is given by 2L plus 1 because it is also a quantized value. Now, ML and MS, these two describes the individual microstate themselves, whereas the total angular momentum quantum number L, which comes from L1 plus L2 plus S3, and the total spin angular momentum quantum number S comes from S1 plus S2 plus S3 and so on. These describes the collection of microstates, not individual, but all the microstates are collected in a under L and S. These are called energy states. Now, for 2 electron, the L values can be given by L1 plus L2, L1 plus L2 minus 1, L1 plus L2 minus 2 up to L1 minus L2, but in a modular fashion because it is a number, not with the sign along with the magnitude. Now, similarly, S can be given by S1 plus S2 for 2 electrons, S1 plus S2, S1 plus S2 minus 1, S1 plus S2 minus 2, similarly up to S1 minus S2. It means L can vary from L1 plus S2 to L1 minus S2 and S also varies from S1 plus S2 to S1 minus S2. Now, the L and S, these are two vectors that coupled together to give a resultant vector, that is J, and J is equal to L plus S or L minus S. This J is called orbital angular momentum quantum number, but it is a total angular momentum. So, J is given by L minus S and L plus S. The condition of L minus S is applicable if subshell is less than half filled, or it is L plus S when subshell is more than half filled. What happens when these two coupled, L and S coupled with each other? Consider the example of Fe3 positive ion in hexacyanoferrate complex. Now, if it is a low spin complex, it is a D5 system, then in D5 system for low spin complex there is one unpaired electron remains in the orbitals. S is equal to half for this D5 system in low spin. So, assuming it as a low spin complex, the spin only values comes to be 1.73 Bohr magneton, but its measured magnetic moment comes out to be 2.3 Bohr magneton. It is interesting to know about the difference between the spin only values and the measured magnetic moment. Why the difference comes in observing and or measuring magnetic moment and assuming a magnetic moment. So, we can assume that it is a high spin complex. If it is a high spin complex, means all the electrons are placed in different orbitals within D subshell. If it is a high spin complex, then spin only value comes to be 5.92 Bohr magneton, which is also not in arrangement with the measured magnetic moment. So, there is a difference where the two L and S values gets coupled with each other and how much extent they can get coupled with each other. Now, from this, the overall magnetic moment, how we can calculate this? Every metal ion except for D1, D2, low spin D5 and high spin D6 and D7, these follows the spin only predictions. But why these scenarios have larger mu effective value? It means if they are following mu spin value, spin only values, then what is the difference and what is the factor that increases the mu effective value, or why they have mu effective value larger than that of mu spin only values? The answer is simple. The spin orbit coupling contributes to the overall magnetic moment, which enhances the value of magnetic moment to give an effective magnetic moment greater than spin only value. It means the mu effective value are always larger than the mu spin value if spin orbit coupling takes place. For spin orbit coupling to occur, there must be a half filled or empty orbital similar in energy and symmetry to the orbital holding the unpaired electrons. It means if there is a possibility of spin orbit coupling to take place, there should be an half filled or empty orbitals placed that should be similar in energy and symmetry. Only in that condition the orbital coupling can takes place. The nearby symmetry related orbital means the next orbital that we are considering for orbital contribution, that must not contain an electron with the same spin, and this is the Hund's rule. So, both the electrons should not be in the same fashion. The next electron should be in the unpaired state. Now, the orbital contribution, from where it comes, electron in this orbital can make use of this nearby vacant orbital or half filled orbital vacancy by moving its electron from one orbital to another orbital, and this movement of electron from one orbital to another orbital, it generates a magnetic moment mu L. This mu L is given by under root L plus 1 into mu B, that is Bohr magneton. Now, the orbital angular momentum of the electron, that depends upon the chemical environment of the central metal atom. The central metal atom, which is having several types of ligands, and this ligands generates a chemical environment around a central metal atom, and that central metal atom environment will decide how much contribution of angular part will be towards the momentum or angular momentum of the complex. Now, for the first row d block metal ions, the main contribution to magnetic susceptibility is from electron spin. However, there is also an orbital contribution from the motion of unpaired electrons from one d orbital to another d orbital, as we have discussed earlier. However, if angular momentum takes its full contribution, it means if an orbital contribution is in full strength, then the total magnetic moment, it is given by the formula mu s plus L, that becomes under root 4 s plus 1 plus L plus 1 multiplied by mu B, that is Bohr magneton, where L is the orbital angular momentum. If the orbital angular momentum is 0, means it is quenched by chemical environment, then the mu s plus L would becomes mu s only, and it is given by the value of under root 4 s plus 1 multiplied by mu B, and the part of orbital contribution L plus 1 would become 0. So, the mu s formula that comes from this expression only, where the orbital contribution is 0 and spin only values are dominating the total magnetic moment value. The contribution of orbital magnetic moment to overall magnetic moment means mu effective. In such cases, it depends upon the extent of mixing of ground state with that of excited state. The overall magnetic moment is therefore, it is inversely proportional to the delta, means the energy difference between the two states, the ground state and the excited state. And this energy difference between ground state and energy state, if it is larger, then the mixing is not properly attained, whereas if it is less, then mixing can take place effectively. So, it depends upon the delta value and it is inversely proportional to the mu effective value, and the spin orbit coupling constant lambda, it is directly proportional. Now, this orbital contribution, it is given by the following expression: mu effective is equal to mu s within bracket 1 minus alpha lambda upon delta. Here lambda is the spin orbit coupling constant and it is positive if n is less than 5 and negative for n is greater than 5. Here this coupling constant value is positive if n is less than 5, because n is the maximum value of unpaired electron within d orbital. If n is up to 5, then this spin orbit coupling would be maximum. If it is greater than 5, number of unpaired electron or number of electron is greater than 5, then their probability to remain unpaired goes on decreasing as number of electron increases, and they will get easily paired up. So, this constant value is positive for n is less than 5 and is negative for n is greater than 5. So, how the spin and orbital magnetic moment gets contributed towards the effective value of magnetic moment. The motion of unpaired electrons from one d orbital to another constitutes an electric current, which creates a magnetic field, as we all know that. This can be understandable with this diagrammatic representation. Here these are the d orbitals and electrons are spinning within the d orbitals. These are unpaired electrons. So, these unpaired electrons spinning on its own axis within the orbitals are generating electric current, and this electric current is cause of generation of magnetic field within its environment. This is the contribution of spin magnetic moment. Here electrons are spinning, this creating an electric field and hence a magnetic field. So, if the electron movement takes place from one orbital to another, here is an example. If electrons from one orbital can get transferred from one orbital to another, so this movement of electron from one orbital to another generating or creating currents, hence it will induce a magnetic field around its periphery. This is the contribution of orbital magnetic moment. Now, let us take an example in which the value of spin orbit coupling constant lambda is minus 316 per centimeter for nickel 2 positive and delta octahedral value is 8500 per centimeter. So, calculation of mu effective for nickel hexaaqua complex can be treated from this way. Here high spin complex nickel, it is a D8 system, A is the ground state. For this A ground state, alpha would be 4. Putting these values in our formula of mu effective, that becomes equal to mu s spin only within the bracket 1 minus alpha lambda divided by delta value, and this mu effective value comes to be 3.25 mu b, that is Bohr magneton. Now, the magnetic properties of first transition series complexes, how they are varying from each other. The spin only formula applies reasonably well to metal ions from the first row of transition metals. Here it is given in unit of Bohr magneton, that is mu b. This is the table. From this we can see that in D1 system, that is titanium 3 plus complex, here for D1 system the mu spin only value can be calculated from the formula of mu spin only. It is 1.73, whereas the observed value comes to be 1.7 to 1.8. It is in good arrangement with the spin only value. So, we will discuss this table separately from D1 to D8 system. For D1 system, titanium hexaaqua complex, it is an octahedral complex having a configuration of T2G1 Eg0. So, having one electron in unpaired form, it is a paramagnetic in nature, and the observed magnetic moment is 1.8 Bohr magneton. So, the spin only magnetic moment value for one unpaired electron is 1.73, that can be calculated from spin only formula, and it is attributed to the partially quenched orbital contribution. Now, for the D2 system, in D2 system vanadium plus 3, it is an octahedral complex having a configuration of T2G2 Eg0. So, it is paramagnetic in nature due to the presence of two unpaired electron within T2G orbital. The observed magnetic moment values are in the range of 2.7 to 2.8 Bohr magneton. The spin only formula which gives a magnetic moment value for 2 unpaired electron is 2.84, which is somewhat less than that of expected values. It may be due to the presence of some distortions takes place from the splitting of ground state term 3T2G. It means the orbital contribution takes part in mu effective value. That is why this 2.84 value is less than that of expected, means observed values. Now for the D3 system, chromium 3 is an octahedral complex having a configuration of T2G3, Eg0. So it is paramagnetic in nature due to the presence of 3 unpaired electron in its T2G group. The spin only magnetic moment value for 3 unpaired electrons from the spin only formula is 3.87 Bohr magneton. The observed magnetic moment values are in the range of 3.7 to 3.84 Bohr magneton, which is placed in the table. And these two values, the observed value and the spin only values from the formula, these are in close agreement with the expected one. And the important thing, it is independent of the temperature. However, in some cases, the reduced value of magnetic moments are also observed in some bridged complexes such as chromium ammonia complex and chromium bridged complex, and these are temperature dependent value of magnetic moment which changes according to the temperature. Now the D4 system. In D4 system, the chromium 2 is an octahedral complex and of high spin having a configuration of T2G3 and Eg1. So it is paramagnetic again because having 4 electron in unpaired state, 3 in T2G and 1 in Eg group. The observed magnetic moment value for chromium sulfate complex has 4.9 Bohr magneton, which agrees with the spin only values. The low spin complex of potassium with chromium hexacyano having a configuration of T2G4 and Eg0. The Eg electron comes to the T2G orbital due to its low spin nature, and it shows a magnetic moment in the range of 2.74 to 2.84 that lies in the expected range. However, chromium 2 acetate dihydrate, it is one of the stable chromium compound and it is dimagnetic in nature due to the participation of 4 unpaired electrons to form quadrupole chromium bond. It means the 4 unpaired electron present in the d orbital of chromium, these 4 gets bonded with another chromium to give a quadrupole chromium bonding, and all 4 electrons are arranged in bonding towards chromium. So it is dimagnetic in nature due to the absence of unpaired electron. All the electrons are in paired form. Now the D5 system. In D5 system, manganese 2 or iron 3, these are octahedral complexes, high spin complexes having a configuration of T2G3, Eg2. So these are also in paramagnetic in nature. The observed magnetic moment value for these complexes is 5.96 Bohr magneton, which agrees well with the spin only values of 5.92. There are some oxo bridge species of iron which shows a values less than that of expected one. It may be due to the presence of some antiferromagnetic interactions between the electron spin of 2 metal ions that is transmitted across Fe-O-Fe bridge, means iron oxygen iron bridge, and due to this antiferromagnetic interaction takes place. Now for the D6 system, the cobalt 3 and iron 2, these are octahedral complexes with high spin complex having a configuration of T2G4 and Eg2. So it is paramagnetic in nature with 4 unpaired electron, 2 in Eg orbital and 2 in T2G orbital. The observed magnetic moment values are 5.5 Bohr magneton, which agrees with the total magnetic moment value of 5.2 to 5.4, in which orbital contributes partially. However, low spin iron 2 complexes are observed, and these complexes are in diamagnetic in nature due to their total paired electron in the T2g orbital. In D7 system, the cobalt 2 having a D7 system may form octahedral or tetrahedral complex. Most of these complexes are high spin, but strong field ligands like cyanide or carbonyl with this form a low spin complex. Low spin octahedral complexes having a configuration of T2g6 and Eg1, total of 7 electron, whereas a tetrahedral complex having a configuration of E4, T2, 3. So, it is paramagnetic in nature in both cases, in octahedral as well as in tetrahedral. The observed magnetic moment value for the tetrahedral complexes are in the range of 4.4 to 4.8 Bohr magneton, whereas the spin only magnetic moment value for 3 unpaired electron is 3.87 Bohr magneton, which is less than that of expected for these type of complexes. Now, the D8 system, it is the nickel 2 complex which is octahedral in spatial arrangement. In D8 system having a configuration of T2g6 Eg2, which gives a magnetic moment value of 3.2 Bohr magneton at room temperature. This behavior is observed for mostly all complexes, but down to 80 Kelvin. Below this temperature, magnetic moment increases sharply from 3.2 to 4.1 Bohr magneton. This may be due to some ferromagnetic coupling takes place within the molecule. So, nickel 2 tetrahedral complex, it is having a configuration of E4 T2 4, which shows a magnetic moment in the range of 3.2 to 4.1 Bohr magneton. The magnetic properties are very helpful in predicting their structure and the stereochemistry of the compounds or complexes. Nickel pyridyl complex, it can be prepared under two slightly different conditions. These two complexes show different magnetic properties. Why it is so? One complex is yellow in color and it is diamagnetic in nature with square planar structure, in which perchlorate ions are not coordinated with the central metal atom, whereas the other is blue in nature, shows paramagnetic character, possesses a magnetic moment of 2.9 Bohr magneton with octahedral spatial arrangement. So, here the perchlorate ion may be coordinated or may not be coordinated. For 5 coordinated geometry, it may also be possible that one chlorate ion is coordinated with the central metal atom within coordination sphere. There is another class of paramagnetism exists. It is temperature independent paramagnetism. Some complexes like MnO4 negative, CrO4 negative or hexammonia cobalt complex, these does not contain any unpaired electron, hence considered to be diamagnetic in nature, but show some weak paramagnetism under certain conditions. What are these? This happens because of the coupling of ground state to the excited state, but the ground state would lie on a ground level, whereas the excited state would be of high energy. These two states can get mixed with each other under the influence of magnetic field applied to the compounds. This orbital contribution produce some magnetic character which does not depends upon the thermal population levels. So, it is called as temperature independent paramagnetism. Now, the crystal field theory also explains the magnetic properties of octahedral complexes. The pairing of electrons takes place under the influence of ligand field that decide their magnetic properties. It means the environment of ligand that is approaching towards the central metal atom. These ligand decides the magnetic properties of any compound, because the ligand can arrange the electron in paired form or unpaired form. From this figure, it is easily understandable if it is free ion d orbital under the influence of magnetic field or under the influence of ligand field. These free ion d orbitals split into two groups, T2g and Eg. These T2g and Eg groups are separated through delta, means crystal field stabilization energy. If it is high spin complex, then this delta is less than pairing energy, because under weak field this delta is less and the pairing energy is higher. So, electrons prefer to take individual orbitals rather than to get paired up. Where if this delta becomes larger under the influence of a strong field, then this pairing energy becomes less than that of splitting energy. Under the influence of strong field ligands, the pairing energy contributes towards the pairing of electrons. So, under the splitting of d orbital in octahedral field, this pairing energy and splitting energy plays an important role. If delta is lower than pairing energy, it means high spin complex will form and the electrons will remain in unpaired state. Whereas in case of delta is larger than pairing energy, then electron will get paired within orbitals and we will get low spin complexes and the magnetic properties gets reduced. So, pairing plays an important role in deciding the magnetic properties of the compounds. Now, the weak field ligand such as iodide, bromide, sulfide, thiocyanide or chloride, these ligands remains the electron within the orbital in unpaired form. So, enhances the paramagnetic character due to the presence of more number of unpaired electron. Whereas the strong field ligands like ammonia, bipyridine, nitrate, cyanide ion, these creates an environment to pair up electrons, hence helps ion to become diamagnetic in nature due to the presence of less number of unpaired electron or zero unpaired electron. Since the crystal field splitting energy delta tetrahedral is quite small, it is smaller than that of octahedral, it is 4 by 9 times smaller than that of octahedral. So, delta tetrahedral is always less than that of pairing energy P. Here tetrahedral is less than P, high spin complex and paramagnetic complex are formed. It means in case of tetrahedral, it is probability to finding tetrahedral complexes with high spin and paramagnetic in nature is more than that of octahedral. Now, we will summarize this episode. Magnetic moment values are varying in nature and does not depend solely upon spin contribution, but in some cases orbital contribution is an important factor. In some cases the orbital contribution becomes negligible due to the chemical environment of the central metal atom, and the orbital part in the effective magnetic moment is somewhat quenched. So, it is termed as quenching of atomic orbital. With this, we summarized these two episodes with the note that we have studied about the origin of magnetic moment, magnetic properties, temperature dependent magnetic properties and temperature independent magnetic properties, along with the contribution of spin and orbital magnetic moment towards the effective magnetic moment. Thank you very much.